Certainly, if a man has no control over his ego, he will find this yoga difficult to master. But a self-controlled man can master it if he struggles hard and uses the right means. And Arjuna says, suppose a man has faith but does not struggle hard enough. His mind wanders away from the practice of yoga and he fails to reach perfection. What will become of him then? When a man goes astray from the path to Brahman, he has missed both lives, the worldly and the spiritual. He has no support anywhere. Is he not lost, as a broken cloud is lost in the sky? This is the doubt that troubles me, Krishna, and only you can altogether remove it from my mind. Let me hear your answer. And Krishna answered, no, my son, that man is not lost, either in this world or the next. No one who seeks Brahman ever comes to an evil end. Arjuna asks, tell me, Krishna, what Brahman is. What is the Atman? And what is the creative energy of Brahman? Explain the nature of this relative world and of the individual man. Who is God who presides over action in this body? And how does he dwell here? How are you revealed at the hour of death to those whose consciousness is united with you? Krishna answers, Brahman is that which is immutable and independent of any cause but itself. When we consider Brahman as lodged within the individual being, we call him the Atman. The creative energy of Brahman is that which causes all existences to come into being. The nature of the relative world is mutability. The nature of the individual man is his consciousness of ego. I alone am God who presides over action here in this body. At the hour of death, when a man leaves his body, he must depart with his consciousness absorbed in me. Then he will be united with me. Be certain of that. Whatever a man remembers at the last, when he is leaving the body, will be realized by him in the hereafter, because that will be what his mind has most constantly dwelt on during this life. Therefore, you must remember me at all times and do your duty. If your mind and heart are set upon me constantly, you will come to me. Never doubt this. Make a habit of practicing meditation and do not let your mind be distracted. In this way, you will come finally to the Lord, who is the light giver, the highest of the high. He is all-knowing God, Lord of the emperors, ageless, subtler far than mind's inmost subtlety, universal sustainer, shining, sun-like, self-luminous. What fashion his form has, who shall conceive of it? He dwells beyond delusion, the dark of Maya. On him let man meditate always, for then at the last hour of going hence from his body, he will be strong in the strength of this yoga, faithfully followed. The mind is firm, and the heart so full it scarcely holds its love. Thus he will take his leave, and now with the life force indrawn utterly, held fast between the eyebrows, he goes forth to find his Lord, that light giver who is greatest. Now I will tell you briefly about the nature of him who is called the deathless by those seers who truly understand the Vedas. Devotees enter into him when the bonds of their desire are broken. To reach this goal, they practice control of the passions. When a man leaves his body and departs, he must close all the doors of the senses. Let him hold the mind firmly within the shrine of the heart and fix the life force between the eyebrows. Then let him take refuge in steady concentration, uttering the sacred syllable Om and meditating upon me. Such a man reaches the highest goal. When a yogi has meditated upon me unceasingly for many years with an undistracted mind, I am easy of access to him because he is always absorbed in me. Great souls who find me have found the highest perfection. They are no longer reborn into this condition of transience and pain. All the worlds, and even the heavenly realm of Brahma, are subject to the laws of rebirth. But for the man who comes to me, there is no returning. There is day also and night in the universe. The wise know this, declaring the day of Brahma 1,000 ages in span, and the night 1,000 ages. Day dawns, and all those lives that lay hidden asleep come forth and show themselves mortally manifest. Night falls, and all are dissolved into the sleeping germ of life. Thus they are seen, O Prince, and appear unceasingly, dissolving with the dark and with day returning back to the new birth, new death, all helpless. They do what they must. This entire universe is pervaded by me in that eternal form of mine which is not manifest to the senses. Although I am not within any creature, all creatures exist within me. I do not mean that they exist within me physically. That is my divine mystery. You must try to understand its nature. My being sustains all creatures and brings them to birth, but has no physical contact with them. For as the vast air, wandering worldwide, remains within the ether always, so these, my wandering creatures, are always within me. These, when the round of ages is accomplished, I gather back to the seed of their becoming. These I send forth again at the hour of creation. Helpless all, for Maya is their master, and I, their Lord, the master of this Maya. Ever and again I send these multitudes forth from my being. How shall these acts bind me, who am indifferent to the fruit they bear? For my spirit stands apart, watching over Maya, the Maker. Maya makes all things, what moves, what is unmoving. O son of Kunti, that is why the world spins, turning its wheel through birth and through destruction. Fools pass blindly by the place of my dwelling here in the human form, and of my majesty they know nothing at all, who am the Lord their soul. Vain is their hope, and in vain their labor, their knowledge. All their understanding is but bewilderment. Their nature has fallen into the madness of the fiends and monsters. Great in soul are they who become what is godlike. They alone know me, the origin, the deathless. They offer me the homage of an unwavering mind, praising my might with heart and lips forever, striving for the virtue that wins me, and steadfast in all their vows, they worship adoring, one with me always. Others worship me, knowing Brahman in all things. Some see me one with themselves, or separate. Some bow to the countless gods that are only my million faces. I am the sire of the world, and this world's mother and grandsire. I am he who awards to each the fruit of his action. I make all things clean. I am Om. I am absolute knowledge. I am also the Vedas, the Sama, the Rik, and the Yajas. I am the end of the path, the witness, the Lord, the sustainer. I am the place of abode, the beginning, the friend, and the refuge. I am the breaking apart and the storehouse of life's dissolution. I lie under the scene of all creatures, the seed that is changeless. I am the heat of the sun, and the heat of the fire am I also, life eternal and death. I let loose the rain or withhold it. Arjuna, I am the cosmos revealed, and its germ that lies hidden. Whatever man gives me in true devotion, fruit or water, a leaf, a flower, I will accept it. That gift is love, his heart's dedication. Whatever your action, food or worship, whatever the gift that you give to another, whatever you vow to the work of the Spirit, O son of Kunti, lay these also as offerings before me. My face is equal to all creation, loving no one nor hating any. Nevertheless, my devotees dwell within me always. I also show forth and am seen within them. Though a man be soiled with the sins of a lifetime, let him but love me, rightly resolved in utter devotion. I see no sinner. That man is holy. Holiness soon shall refashion his nature to peace eternal. O son of Kunti, of this be certain, the man who loves me, he shall not perish. Arjuna speaks. Some worship you with steadfast love. Others worship God the unmanifest and changeless. Which kind of devotee has the greater understanding of yoga? Sri Krishna answers, those whose minds are fixed on me in steadfast love, worshipping me with absolute faith. I consider them to have the greater understanding of yoga. As for those others, the devotees of God the unmanifest, indefinable and changeless, they worship that which is omnipresent, constant, eternal, beyond thought's compass, never to be moved. They hold all the senses in check. They are tranquil-minded and devoted to the welfare of humanity. They see the Atman in every creature. They also will certainly come to me. But the devotees of the unmanifest have a harder task, because the unmanifest is very difficult for embodied souls to realize. Quickly I come to those who offer me every action, worship me only, their dearest delight, with devotion undaunted. Because they love me, these are my bondsmen, and I shall save them from mortal sorrow and all the waves of life's deathly ocean. Be absorbed in me, lodge your mind in me, thus you shall dwell in me. Do not doubt it, here and hereafter. If you cannot become absorbed in me, then try to reach me by repeated concentration. If you lack the strength to concentrate, then devote yourself to works which will please me. For by working for my sake only, you will achieve perfection. If you cannot even do this, then surrender yourself to me altogether. Control the lusts of your heart and renounce the fruits of every action. Concentration which is practiced with discernment is certainly better than the mechanical repetition of a ritual or a prayer. Absorption in God, to live with him and be one with him always, is even better than concentration. But renunciation brings instant peace to the spirit. A man should not hate any living creature. Let him be friendly and compassionate to all. He must free himself from the delusion of I and mine. He must accept pleasure and pain with equal tranquility. He must be forgiving, ever contented, self-controlled, united constantly with me in his meditation. His resolve must be unshakable. He must be dedicated to me in intellect and in mind. Such a devotee is dear to me. He neither molests his fellow men nor allows himself to become disturbed by the world. He is no longer swayed by joy and envy, anxiety and fear. Therefore, he is dear to me. He is pure and independent of the body's desire. He is able to deal with the unexpected, prepared for everything, unperturbed by anything. He is neither vain nor anxious about the results of his actions. Such a devotee is dear to me. He does not desire or rejoice in what is pleasant. He does not dread what is unpleasant or grieve over it. He remains unmoved by good or evil fortune. Such a devotee is dear to me. His attitude is the same toward friend and foe. He is indifferent to honor and insult, heat and cold, pleasure and pain. He is free from attachment. He values praise and blame equally. He can control his speech. He is content with whatever he gets. His home is everywhere and nowhere. His mind is fixed upon me, and his heart is full of devotion. He is dear to me. This true wisdom I have taught will lead you to immortality. The faithful practice it with devotion, taking me for their highest aim. To me they surrender heart and mind. They are exceedingly dear to me. Now I shall describe that which has to be known in order that its knower may gain immortality. That Brahman is beginningless, transcendent, eternal. He is said to be equally beyond what is and what is not. Everywhere are his hands, eyes, feet, his heads and his faces. This whole world is his ear. He exists encompassing all things, doing the tasks of each sense, yet himself devoid of the senses. Standing apart, he sustains. He is free from the gunas but feels them. He is within and without. He lives in the live and the lifeless, subtle beyond mind's grasp, so near us, so utterly distant. Undivided, he seems to divide into objects and creatures, sending creation forth from himself. He upholds and withdraws it. Light of all lights, he abides beyond our ignorant darkness. Knowledge, the one thing real we may study or know, the heart's dweller. Learn from me now, O son of Kunti, how man made perfect is one with Brahman, the goal of wisdom. When the mind and the heart are freed from delusion, united with Brahman, when steady will has subdued the senses, when sight and taste and sound are abandoned, without regretting, without aversion, when man seeks solitude, eats but little, curbing his speech, his mind and his body, ever engaged in meditation on Brahman, the truth, and full of compassion, when he casts from him vanity, violence, pride, lust, anger, and all his possessions, totally free from the sense of ego, and tranquil in heart. That man is ready for oneness with Brahman. And he who dwells united with Brahman, calm in mind, not grieving, not craving, regarding all men with equal acceptance, he loves me most dearly. To love is to know me, my innermost nature, the truth that I am. Through this knowledge he enters at once to my being. All that he does is offered before me in utter surrender. My grace is upon him. He finds the eternal, the place unchanging. Mentally resign all your action to me. Regard me as your dearest loved one. Know me to be your only refuge. Be united always in heart and consciousness with me. United with me you shall overcome all difficulties by my grace. But if your heart is full of conceit and you do not heed me, you are lost. If in your vanity you say, I will not fight, your resolve is vain. Your own nature will drive you to the act. For you yourself have created the karma that binds you. You are helpless in its power, and you will do that very thing which your ignorance seeks to avoid. The Lord lives in the heart of every creature. He turns them round and round upon the wheel of his Maya. Take refuge utterly in him. By his grace you will find supreme peace and the state which is beyond all change. Now I have taught you that wisdom which is the secret of secrets. Ponder it carefully, then act as you think best. These are the last words that I shall say to you, the deepest of all truths. I speak for your own good. You are the friend I chose and love. Give me your whole heart, love and adore me, worship me always, bow to me only, and you shall find me. This is my promise, who love you dearly. Lay down all duties in me, your refuge. Fear no longer, for I will save you from sin and from bondage. You must never tell this holy truth to anyone who lacks self-control and devotion, or who despises his teacher and mocks at me. But the man who loves me and teaches my devotees this supreme truth of the Gita will certainly come to me. No one can do me a higher service than this. No one on earth can be dearer to me. And if any man meditates upon this sacred discourse of ours, I shall consider that he has worshipped me in spirit. Even if a man simply listens to these words with faith and does not doubt them, he will be freed from his sins and reach the heaven of the righteous. Have you listened carefully, Arjuna, to everything I have told you? Have I dispelled the delusions of your ignorance? And Arjuna replies, by your grace, O Lord, my delusions have been dispelled. My mind stands firm. Its doubts are ended. I will do your bidding.